Hello lovelies. So I finally get a chance to voice over this video that I put together earlier in the week. We've been unwell, so I finally have a voice to be able to do it. So this was for my ScrapFX post earlier in the week, and I decided to do a 12 by 12 layout. Now I'm using some Art by Marlene paint, but I've watered it down a lot, and then after I've applied it, I've also sprayed some water on it I really wanted it very subtle, very flowy, so I used a lot of water to tone it down and get it to flow really nicely over my page, and I really love how that worked. So it worked exactly as I wanted. So by adding all that extra water straight from my water, it's not a water gun, what is it? Water sprayer? I don't know, my water, that thingy you saw me spray. Oh my goodness, words are just not good today. But yeah, it's really helped my paint flow and just sort of, what's the word? I know what I'm trying to say. Words are just not working today, but we'll move on. Anyway, so I'm using some ScrapFX stamps, and the big circle, bold circle on there, it's actually from, it's one of the newer releases. It's from a mark making set, and I love it. I used it straight with some paint from a paintbrush, so it gave me a nice deep colour. And because I used water to help all my background paint just sort of bleed and flow out, when I use the same colour, it's giving me that tone on tone, but it is giving me a darker image, so that stamp really stands out. I decided to bring in some black with some of my more linear stamps, and then I was a little unsure. I thought, I'm not liking it, but then I brought in the honeycomb stamp, and I love it. I used the pink paint again with the honeycomb stamp, and it just helps ties all that together, I think. This was an experiment. So I had these pink Heidi Swap foil pieces just sitting on my desk. And if it's sitting on my desk, I'm likely to use it. I thought, it's pink. My background's pink. Let's give it a go. It was messy, but it was so pretty. So I'm using just a very fine glue pen. It took a bit for it to work, but also because some of my paint was a little tacky still, and my ink, yeah, the flakes really stuck to it quite well. So if you haven't used foil flakes before, basically you put them on some adhesive of some kind, anything wet, and then you use a paintbrush or something to basically dust off the excess, and you're left with, some really nice foil flakes. So like I said, this was an experiment, and I was not prepared in the slightest, so I didn't have, anything set up to do it 100% properly. So I have got a few little clusters of messy foil, but I don't know, I like it. I like how it turned out. So I've got this nice little foil metallic glittery parts on my background. I used it over some of my stamped images just to help them pop a bit, and just because I just wanted, little spots of metallic gold. Well, it's not gold, it's pink actually. Did I mention that? It's pink foil. So now I'm using some of the chipboard pieces from ScrapFX. This was in the same release as the mark making circle stamp, and I decided here to back my background on some craft cardstock. So I felt that the craft was going to work. One, it helps unwarp my paper, my background cardstock, because if you use a lot of water, it tends to warp and it's a pain. So it gives me something to flatten my background by adhering it to, but also I felt that the craft, one, it would make the colours pop, but two, it really brings another element of that raw chipboard look. Because I've got the chipboard on my title, having the craft cardstock in the background, it just sort of ties them together, and it gives it a nice little border. I find when I do a heavy mixed media, flowy, messy kind of background, it helps to have a border of some kind to ground it in. I'm using a brayer to flatten it down because there was bubbles and my glue is very sticky, but it really works. It was so flat, I couldn't believe it. And then just adding a little doodly border, because I like hand-drawn borders. So I'm going to adhere my photo to some white cardstock just so it pops off that pink. And yes, I've used pink when my photo is mostly blue, but I do love the contrast of that. So this is a picture of Ruby that I took actually just a few days before I did this layout. And it matches the title I'm using. So the chipboard wordlet is that face, and I couldn't not use it with this photo. Ruby, when you say smile, gives you this face. So yeah, it was just really cute. And the other chipboard pieces I'm using are these heart flower looking things. I cannot remember for the life of me what they were called, but if you head over to the ScrapFX Facebook page, I'm sure they'll be linked there. But yeah, they just framed my photo beautifully, and it just really went with this whole layout. So I do love how they look. I love the look of the raw chipboard in contrast to my bright pink background. I've used the pink background because, well, I can. It's a picture of Ruby, and I really wanted to use to go with the pink, and I really wanted that watercolory flowy pink in the background. And I do love the contrast with the blue and the green, as my photo is predominantly, because this was taken at, I think it was rugby. Will had a whole week full of sport at school. So yeah, Ruby and I go along to cheer, and this was a picture of her at the rugby. So yeah, it's just, I just love this face. I do mess around with my flowers for a little while, my heart flowers, because I wanted them to frame my my picture, so I just wanted to get them in the right spot. Then I'm just adding some gold shimmer spray stuff. Oh my goodness, I'm just using it to have some little flicks in the background, some splatters. That's the word I'm looking for, splatters, just because I just wanted another little metallic, and I do love splatters. So yeah, sorry for the very bad voiceover, but like I said, haven't been well, but I do hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you like the layout. Thanks for watching. Bye.